Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm up to you guys, represent to you guys with a Alphamon Ouryuken deck profile. So, without any ado, let's get into the profile first, about all of the card amounts that I run and all of the cards that I run. And after that, I'll explain a bit about why did I make these choices, why did I choose these cards to be part of the deck, and some other replacement cards or cards that I have chosen to take out or not put into my deck. I'll explain about earlier on that also. So let's get into the deck profile. So first and foremost, Doraemon, 4 Doraemon. We move on with the level 7 first. We have 3 Ouryuken, 3 Alphamon, playset of Ouryumon, Dex level 5, we have Dex Dorugamon, and of course Dorugamon. Level 4s, we have Dorumon and its X-antibody version, Dex Dorugamon, just one single Grumblemon. Next up, we have Ryudamon, Dorumon, and another Dorumon. Okay, that's it for the monster lineup. Next up, we have the Tamers. We only have 3 Kota and 4 Kuboy. For options, we have 3 Memory Boost and 3 Congo. Okay, since the options and tamers are out, I'll explain a bit on the options and tamers first. So 3 Black Memory Boost. This is to increase your deck's consistency. Of course, you have to think of what is your main goal for the deck. So the main goal for this deck is to actually be able to build an Alphamon line with the Ouryumon in its Digivolution source, in order to Digivolve into the Ouryuken with 3 costs. And with that comes with a lot of removal that the Alphamon deck never had and didn't have in the past. So once you get into that line, you have a lot of removal. You have one Digivolve, one delete, and another delete. So you have 2 deletes and 1 Digivolve. So what you're trying to do is trying to increase the consistency of you being able to do that kind of line and do that kind of removal consistently. So this is here to boost your consistency. The Kota and Kuboy as well. Kuboy searches for everything in this deck except for Grumblemon. So it's very self-explanatory because it can search for every single, almost all of the Digimon inside the deck. And it also gives extra power, extra memory, and a draw, which is very easy to be achieved in this deck when you just Digivolve your X-antibody into your Dorumon or Dorugreymon. That's free. It's free memory and free draw. And you also get memory from the on Digivolution skill of the Dex Dorugamon and Dex Dorugreymon. So with only 3 memory, you can go all the way up from level 4 into an Alphamon Ouryuken with some help of Dorumon and maybe 1 or 2 Kuboys, which is not very hard to do. Also for Kota, it searches for your black X-antibody Digimons, so it's very good as well. I did run Kota in this deck before, and I will explain on why I took him out. I actually took him out for an extra memory boost and 1 Congo. Congo is a very good option also to stop people from rushing you too fast when you're finding a combo pieces, and to prevent those yellow security controls, those healing decks time to stall before you can finish them. So normally if you play this after you play your entire line of Alphamon Ouryuken, you probably hit for 4 and you can go for game the next turn, and that's when this comes in very handy. You prevent them from healing, you prevent them from killing you as well, to a certain decks. And I think the most important skill is with all of the yellow security controls running around. This is a very good card to prevent them from stalling you out. Okay, so let's move on to our Digimons. Okay, for Doraemon, very self-explanatory. You need to go through your deck very fast. You need to get all of your pieces in order for this deck to function and run well. So only running Doraemon. There's another Digitama that gives you 1k when something is placed into your Digivolution source. I don't think that's good. With Alphamon Ouryuken, you have enough power to hit. 16k is almost go through everything. So yeah, just get the draw power from the Doraemon. Next up, we have the MVP of this deck, Alphamon Ouryuken. Very self-explanatory. It gives removal, gives you an extra turn, and it's not only on the turn that you activate, that you digivolve. When you pass your turn, you can use it also. And when even you have 2, you can use it twice. So you can use it once. When it's not your turn, you use it once. Becomes your turn, and then you use it again, and it becomes your turn again. So sometimes you're actually able to build up another line of a Digimon to provide you with more hits or more defensive, give you a more defensive board for the next turn. So moving on, we have 3 Alphamon. I was sort of thinking to bumping it up to 4 because it's a very important card to get, but I think that Ouryuken is more important because you need it to be ditched by the Dex Dorogamon and Dex Doromon skill, and you need it to be inside the Digivolution source. That's why I didn't run 4 of these, but instead I ran 4 Ouryumons instead. You normally don't want to digivolve into your Ouryumon. You want it to be in the Digivolution source. You want it to be in the trash. So for it to be in the trash first, you need to get this. You need to get this at relatively early. Alphamon and the Ouryuken can come later, which is why they're at 3. At 4 because you want to draw it into it early and ditch it by using the Dex Digimon skills. Moving on to the level 5s, we have Ouryuken and its X-antibody, Dex Ouryuken. Ouryuken is really good to prevent your opponent from removing your Digimon if you decide to push them out of your breeding zone for some sort of removal with Dex Ouryuken early on to prevent, maybe you're against the Jogress and they already set up their level 4. You want to remove one before to not let them go that smoothly. Okay, it is one of the options that you can do. Also, it prevents deletion and DP reduction until the end of the turn, the opponent's turn, which makes this, it will make your line relatively sticky, and for it to survive until the next turn, to your next turn, it won't be hard, I would say. So this is definitely one of the MVPs of the deck. Dex Ouryuken, it is a X-antibody, triggers Schoolboy. It helps you clear the field, gives you an extra memory. Technically it doesn't, it's just free by itself. But it provides you an extra Digivolution source for you to return to your deck for Alphamon Ouryuken skill. So yeah, only 8 level 5s. We have that 1 Grumblemon. If this is not in your security or not checked by your searchers, you'll definitely draw it. Because this is just how this deck is able to draw and is able to go through and filter all of the cards. So 1 is enough, you don't need 2. If you get 2, both of them don't end up in the security or they don't get searched, you'll probably draw both of them. So you only need 1, so just 1 Grumblemon. Moving on, we have the Dex Doromon, and it's non-antibody version of it. So this is also already a very good card, mainly because its Dex version gives blocker and retaliation. It's very important to prevent people from trying to kill you, because if they try to kill you, they die with you also. So technically this is not a very important card. They are better level 4s, but the fact that it's X-antibody and it has its Dex version of it, X-antibody version of it, it is a good thing to run, because the 1000 power actually doesn't do any difference when you're on Alphamon Ouryuken, but when you're on Alphamon and you're forced to attack, sometimes it will make a difference. And also the blocker skill is not bad when you want to you have enough energy after ending your turn and using Alphamon Ouryuken skill. If you have 3 memory left, you can slap down on level 3 and then you can digivolve this on top of it. You'll get blocker, give you a more defensive board to face your opponent's next turn. Next up is the level 3s. In the level 3s, we have Dorumon, and Ryudamon. Ryudamon is just here because it's an X-antibody, and the decoy is actually not used quite often, but it searches for Kota, it searches for Yuji. Actually, these two searches do play a rather important part in your deck, because it searches, and especially Dorumon, it gives you an extra memory. I don't know how many times this guy has saved me from passing my turn to my opponent, so this is a very, very crucial card. I will never consider kicking either 1 or 2 out, never. Ryudamon maybe if they are good replacements, but for X-antibody Digimon and Black Digimon, I think these are the best choices. 2 of these for you to ditch your Ouryumon and draw 2. Also for you to filter through your deck and get your pieces. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, let's go to the other options and cards that I didn't run in this deck. So first is the Digitama that I mentioned that has plus 1k power. You don't really need this if you're on Alphamon Ouryuken, which you will most likely be. So you just don't need it. I normally don't try to attack when I'm on Alphamon because it's kind of risky. So I would say if you don't have your pieces, don't push it out of your nursery. As they say, it's nursery gaming nowadays. So if you don't have your pieces, unless you have some urgent matters that you have to deal with on the board, don't push your Digimon out, because the Dorugremon's effect is actually very important for your Digimon to stick until the next turn. So make sure you use this effect wisely. Next up, we have the Black X-antibody from BT-9. This is actually not bad, but it's kind of slow, and the ESS skill is I would say not the best, because for Alphamon you need to hit 2 security per hit to put your opponent at 1 memory, even at 1 security. So if you have maybe slap level 3 early on and you suicide with this, I mean you hit with this, they left with 4, and you hit 2 hits, they're left with 0. If you have a Gamblemon, they're dead. If you don't have, the Alphamon Ouryuken is sticky enough because you digivolved it from Dorugremon's, and probably might be able to live until the next turn. So we don't need this because it's kind of slows the deck down, and we already have consistent ways to search Alphamon and ways to put things into our Digivolution source, so we don't really need him. I see other people running this, but I don't really like him, just because that if it's like you search for it and then you digivolve it on top for maybe -1 cost, that would be a lot better, but that will be asking too much from this card. So yeah, there are better options. So next we have the blocker. I don't run this anymore because for level 4 this deck has very, very tight space, and you already have an option to make one of the Digimon a blocker, and even better, it gives you retaliation even for 1 turn. I think 1 turn is enough, because when you push it up and if you have another Digimon up, when you push your Alphamon line from your nursery, you can give that Digimon, the Digimon that is outside, a blocker and retaliation, and it will give you more defensive and will give you a very defensive board already. So I don't think this is runnable anymore. And then SA Ryujin, I think now that you have the new BT-9 Alphamon, you don't need this anymore. Whereas if you had you were playing the old Alphamon without that, didn't have that much clear as this deck, you will probably need it. But now I don't think you need it. I'd rather run Congo over this. It does so much more, and focus is actually rather expensive. Normally when you use it, you pass your turn already, so that's not something that you want in your deck. You want your deck to be consistent in doing one thing, and this doesn't help your deck do that. So no SA Ryujin. Next up is Yuji. I actually really like Yuji, but for me to, after you access your build, you will discover that you don't really need Yuji anymore. Sure, sometimes it gives you flashy plays with 2 Ouryumons and 3 hits, but that is like once in a blue moon. Even you don't have Yuji now, you still can use the Ouryumon twice from Alphamon. You can put Ouryumon with Alphamon skill into your ESS, and with Ouryuken. So you can technically do that too, but you will need 2 Ouryumons, one in the trash and one in your hand. It is still doable, and this doesn't give you some direct value. It doesn't give your deck direct value. It gives you it during the next turn or when your Digimon attacks. Where if you use a memory boost, you get to search for the card immediately, and you can maybe Digivolve. Let's say you're stuck at level 4, you don't have level 4. You use this doesn't help you. You use Cool Boy, it helps you. You use Dorumon, you use Yudamon, it helps you. Everything helps you. You use the Cool Boy, you use Memory Boost, you use Kota. All of the cards help you, but this doesn't give you direct value. And from what I'm building my deck towards, this isn't this doesn't pay for its spot anymore. So I changed one out for another Black Memory Boost and one for Congo. Congo really gives you a lot of this deck a lot of defensive capabilities in the form of 2 costs only, so it's a very good card. And last but not least, we have our Hisanryumon. Hisanryumon is actually kind of slow because it has to be comboed with Yuji. If any old Alphamon players, I mean, it's just from the past booster, but it's already kind of old, you get what I mean? It's kind of slow, and with Ouryuken you don't really need the reboot because 16k you can't be deleted, you can't be reduced DP, so you're not really that scared of anything anymore, so you don't really need Hisanryumon. Also, the skill is quite good if you pair it with the old Alphamon. Okay, so there are other cards that I want to talk about is the old Alphamon, the SEC. That one actually, if you don't pair it up, if you use that Alphamon, you don't have free ways to put Digimon into your Digivision source, which is why you needed Yuji back then. Now you don't because the Alphamon does it itself. So after playtesting with the new Alphamon, I really think that is much better and provides removal, whereas the old one, it really doesn't do that much, and you have to pay memory for power. It's an 11k base, it can die very easily. So I would say the new Alphamon is better. And what else? What other options have I thought about? I think that's about it. So I'll end the video here. I think it's rather long. Thank you for staying with me throughout the end, and I hope you will continue to support the channel in the future, as I will upload new deck profiles when I receive support from the community, from everyone, you know. So I do really want to continue doing deck profiles, so please support me and my channel. Thank you very much.